that, we are starting the fifth and final chapter of the actual module. Rather
Mm,
than doing the standard recap, I will once again just sort of run down um, the story so far, and then we will check in with everyone. The most recent development, of course, being your arrival through the mists of Prismeer to the large, very picturesque palace at the heart of Prismeer. A tall white tower capped in uh, in a dark slate roof. There are a number of towers and turrets, one of which has been torn from the palace itself and now uh, is suspended by a giant beanstalk, which has taken root on the eastern wall of the palace uh, and 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 set in. Uh, all three of the hags of the Hourglass Coven are dead. They are defeated at your hands, with each of the three realms of Prismeer, hither, thither, and yon, having been rescued and released from their control. The trip to the palace here, um, on the back of giant cranes who dropped you off in a very picturesque garden, interrupted only the trip interrupted only by the appearance of a very strange and sinewy dragon, extensively long, or no, not extensively, extremely long, uh, but rather thin. Its very large, pale eyes visible even from the distance at which you saw it diving into the lower levels of the palace. Uh, Along your journey here, three of the four of you have recovered the things which were taken from you, and uh, the things which were taken from you and crafted into an intricate magical creation. Um, the crossbow that Court recovered from Bavlorna's frog statue, the lantern taken from Scabatha's dollhouse, and most recently the embalming wand taken by Hemlock from Endelin's wardrobe, bed, wardrobe, bedrobe, uh, from her room, along with a pendant which presumably contains the essence of the only thing that was taken at the same time, whatever was taken from Hemlock's sister Yara. So many, many years ago. You all have arrived in the palace gardens, to find that, but for a large pavilion tent not far from your current location, all the inhabitants of the palace seem to be frozen in time. And not just the inhabitants, much of the scenery around you. The water that flows from the fountains does not flow. There is no sound of running water. There is instead um, the water hanging in the air, not frozen in ice, but just suspended entirely. The birds, which would float through the air, chasing each other, are instead suspended, trapped in time. You can see even uh, the pollen from the many flowers throughout this large garden, suspended in air. Bees who have had at some point before been gathering it from the many, many beautiful blooms throughout this garden, also stuck, hanging as though from it. invisible threads. Um, we will check in first. Pull up my notes here. Um, Banner, um, as the only one who has not themselves lost something of themselves, instead having 8 years ago lost. I just stabbed myself in the knee. Great. Instead having lost your companion Harold, this is the last portion of Prismeer where you might find him, and where all indications say that Harold has gone from the moment that he arrived here. Uh, Having stopped in at various portions of Prismeer, and in fact in each of the realms, having found um, signs of him throughout uh, throughout the shards, you have also learned a lot more about the gnome with which you traveled for decades, if not centuries. Um, Presuming you find him here and find him alive, your sending spell having failed to contact him, what is is there anything that Banner is specifically looking to say to or ask of Harold?
Well, no, I believe that we will find Harold. I will find Harold. Hopefully, he is still alive. But in all my years, I have learned that that is um, not necessarily a given with you fleshy fellows. So I will hope, and should I find him um, still in a living state, I will simply ask if he is okay and if there is anything that I can assist him with. Um, he clearly has, or had, I should say, secrets about his life, but those are his own. And if he did not tell me, I'm sure there is some reason, and it does not change how I feel about my friend.
Um, Arlen, as a practiced storyteller, and certainly without a doubt the youngest member of this group, you have done certainly quite a bit of growing up on the road, having become a monarch of a portion of Hither. Everything that you have gone through is quite the story for all of you. But as the avid storyteller, has Arlen begun to think about at all how he would um, tell the story should he return to the material plane? Given that you do have a kingdom here, that if you were to return, would given the difference in the way time presumably flows, certainly need a leader. So that's a two-part question, I guess.
I think, yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking this was going to be like, a three-act play, three acts, three acts, but now we're marching into the fourth act, and it's not done yet apparently. Very concerned about, what we've arrived at here at the Palace of Heart's Desire. So I think he's eager to see the conclusion of this saga. And uh, as for the kingdom, I think never really planned on sticking around too much there. the goal was to set up like a council that would rule in my stead, but I understand if passing along the crown is necessary.
Started writing a note and then lost what I was trying to say. So just come back. Court. You and you not only initially came here, um, you were pulled into some of this mess. Not this mess. This story, rather. A little bit unwittingly, as the disappearance of Gleam and Glister's understandable but rather frantic desire to find her sister is the reason that you were able to be affected by the hags at all. Um, it is the reason that your wings were taken, and um, with their recent rescue and safe return, or their rescue reuniting and safe return to the material plane, uh, specifically to the Witchlight Carnival. Um, Obviously, you have come very far uh, with your adventuring companions in this group. Is there anything else other than that that is keeping you in Prismere, or are you here for your friends and hoping to return as quickly as you can to the material plane? What is Court's to coin the name of the place? What is Court's heart's desire at this point?
Yeah. Um, honestly, wait, are we doing these in character? I don't remember which bit we're doing. Are we doing these in character or not?
So far, we
So
have been
far,
doing
yes.
them Love Island.
You
So
have
Okay,
not
perfect. Love Island in the confession room. Perfect. Okay, that's what I thought, but I was like, wait. Yeah, I don't really, to be honest, it's kind of whoosh. I don't have the best memory. We've been here a while. I don't remember a whole like, ooh, the greater arc, but I'm glad we're here and that we killed some hags, that I got my wings. I got I got all the pals back, headed back where they belong. And yeah, if there's a I don't if there's more work to do, that I kind of owe everything to these guys. I mean, and I think the carnival will, if we can save the carnival, it'll always be there waiting for me and I could go back to that. I'm content to just go with this ragtag group that, I don't know. I think they're kind of fun.
okay. Finally, Hemlock. Um, with everything that has happened in Prismere, Hemlock has had a somewhat second journey occurring as the secrets in the book that you stole have begun to unravel themselves, or rather, you have begun to unravel them, I should say. The language which at first made no sense has begun to clear up, and many many of the book's dark and sinister I should say, truths have started to become clear to Hemlock. What is, other than Hemlock's desire to keep it from the creature that came to Cross Hollow, what is Hemlock's hope with those secrets, and with your um, with your goal of reaching the master of this domain so close at hand, has Hemlock thought about what awaits him should he return to the material plane, or rather, what will he do if he returns to the material plane?
This is a thought that moves me to restlessness. While I might not find need to sleep, the consideration that in such a short amount of time, my time in the Feywild will be near its necessary end. I know that it will bring me back to wherever the Witchlight Carnival may be. And while that may not be near Flame, may still be easier to find than this place. And I would be lying to myself if, even after staying up night after night and researching and reading and trying definitely to understand this material in a way that does not make me its own tool. This artifact has a power in it that, should I die, will fall to someone who wants it, and someone who wants it certainly is someone who should not have it. And it was short-sighted of me to take it into the Witchlight Carnival, and it's short-sighted of me to not know where to take it after. And it may just be the life I will proceed to live, to find other gaps in the material and find myself in other worlds and places. I do not think my place would be with the carnival, but perhaps they could put me on a way that will keep me far, far from home.
Even as you can feel the weight of the hourglass amulet in your pocket, there is the sounds all around you of, well, echoing all around you, but certainly coming from a large pavilion tent not far away um, from where the cranes have dropped you off in the gardens of the palace. A large white marble wall encompassing the area all around you, that rests and waits and holds position outside of the main palace gate, or the main palace door rather. Um, the eerie stillness of the garden otherwise is the only thing that um, Should all be able to see. This is a huge map. So shift click down here. A number of other features are readily evident throughout the garden. There are a pair of turrets, or towers, really, one on the southwestern side and one on the eastern side, that rise well above the outer wall that encircles the garden. Each one is the same white marble, veined with um, lines of a silver or gray to black offset in the marble. Each one smooth and without windows or other features. There is a ring of stones, not entirely dissimilar to the ones you saw at Lockberry Henge, except these are all one material, one kind of stone, and each one, even from where you are, you can see is carved with an arcane sigil on the side of the stone that faces inward. Each of these 12 stones covered in moss, so they have a definitive green tint to the stones, except where the red of the arcane sigil comes through. Off in the distance to the north, the palace itself rises up well beyond your sight. The top of the highest tower, I mean, up into the clouds practically, up into the mist that surrounds so much of Prismere. In rising up into the sky, which here is the more familiar twilight that you all were, or I should say, were originally accustomed to, but did not see in the perpetual night of Yon. The river that you can see, or stream really, flows from one of the walls. It's a little unclear where the water actually comes from, but it definitely flows up towards the palace, with a large lake fairly readily visible around you. Other than the cranes, who, once you have all climbed off, take a few moments to preen their feathers a little bit before they take back off into the sky and sail over the white marble wall and to the rear side of the palace itself. The area around you is, as I have said, largely still, except for the sounds of merriment coming from a pavilion tent not too far. The flap is the tent's flap is open, loosely open. It's not wide open, but there's nothing to stop you seeing in. And readily visible is a large picnic table covered in an emerald green cloth and covered from end to end with all kinds of confectionaries, teapots, loaves of bread, ham, and all sorts of um, delicious foodstuffs. And occasionally you see somebody. Occasionally you can see forms moving around inside. humanoid forms for the most part. Yeah, outside the pavilion, near the opened back, there is a string quartet uh, of badgers.
Huh?
Regular, well, clearly not regular badgers. These badgers sit up on their thick, furry little haunches, their stripes down along their head as they tap their feet to the rhythm of the music that they are creating. The largest badger on a stand-up bass taps out a rhythm occasionally and plucks at the strings while his compatriots on cello and violin and viola play a very upbeat and jaunty chamberish music um, uh, tune. A tune which many of the guests that you can see moving around inside the tent are enjoying and tapping their feet to. Occasionally, a pair of them will dance for just a moment, never truly getting into a dance before they sit down and carry on about whatever they are speaking about. Um, you do see as well a large brown bear standing on its rear legs. A a what should be a soup mug uh, is instead full of tea, which this bear sips from as daintily as a bear can, with paws and uh, with paws and snout, having a pleasant conversation with what should be a dwarf, but this dwarf has no head. As he turns to look at you, well, not really even face you, but as it turns your direction, you can see that this dwarf's head is just missing, and where his neck should be is perfectly smooth. And while the bear speaks, every once in a while, this dwarf body stamps out on the ground his answers. The rest of the guests inside seem a lot more. I'm going to air quote the word here, normal, uh, which seems like a loaded and relative term here in Prismere. Uh, you can make out a human man, an elven man, and a human female, all of whom are uh, speaking to one another briefly and waiting. You do see that. So I am trying to sharpen a pencil, and every time I get it sharp, it just breaks. It's very frustrating. Um, you do see that there are two other individuals in this tent. There is a halfling man and an orcish woman. However, unlike the rest of the guests, they are not moving at all. They are in the same vein as the birds and all of the other creatures you have witnessed here, completely frozen in time. And the rest of the guests, I should say, the rest of their party goers do their best to not bump into these individuals. They don't look at them. They just sort of ignore their presence as they have their conversations, enjoy the food on the table, which seems to refill itself constantly as anything is taken. And when you all land and the birds have flown off, the guests inside who are able to move turn to face you briefly, tilt their heads as though offering a greeting, but also a simply a confused look, and then go back to their conversation. Welcome to the Palace of Heart's Desire. What would you like to do? Also, I have sharpened like half of this pencil away, and the lead just keeps breaking every 2 millimeters. It's so annoying. Welcome. So, what would you like to do?
Should we go and perhaps inquire as to why they have the ability to move freely in this place after a fashion before we peruse the gardens?
So I think perhaps asking them for the lay of the land would be helpful, but I do think it is more unusual that everything else is frozen than that they are moving. But either way, hopefully they will shed some light on what this place is about. Hopefully we do not need
Yes.
an invitation.
Yes, I should clarify. I don't think it's normal that everything's frozen. It just sort of makes sense because this is supposed to be after a prison after a fashion, so it sort of makes sense that nothing can move here, sort of. But just it's weird that some things can.
Yes, and I must say, I don't think I have ever seen a prison that uh, takes quite so literally the um, notion of keeping its inmates from moving freely.
Mm.
Interesting. Alan, it looks like they have quite the spread in there.
Yeah.
Shall we go make some introductions so that you might get some additional treats?
Uh, Arlen's gonna use silent image to just make it look like he's like floating in the air, following a scent, like a wafting scent.
Awesome.
You have the lily pad.
Yeah, I'm actually using the lily pad, but the silent illusion is just to give the appearance.
Before crossing the threshold. Oh no, is everything okay? Oh, okay. Um, we're fine. I just heard Tyler yelling that Miles was naked, but he's fine. Before like entering the
It
pavilion.
turns out it was more celebratory than a warning.
Yeah, actually.
Fantastic.
Right. I will right before stepping in. Well, actually, I will not step into the pavilion. I will just stick my head inside,
Mhm.
and just say, "Hello."
All of the guests, including the bear and the headless dwarf, turn and sort of separate the circle that they are in. There is the um, the human man. I'm sorry, the elven man rather, dressed in absolutely exquisite finery with a small golden circlet on his head. Gestures for you to all come in, come in, come in. We were simply having a mundane conversation about what we're doing. Oh yes, whether cream goes on before the jam onto a scone. We have been here for some time. We have started to run out of things to talk about. Please come in. You would refresh the conversation wonderfully.
Well, I mean, obviously the cream goes on first, because if you've got a warm scone and you put that cream down, it kind of gets a little bit melty, and then as you smear the jam, it kind of swirls in and mixes, and it's just, oh, it's so good.
Yes. Plus, you avoid getting the jam on your cream spreader. Yep.
Also, I think if you do it that way, the jam won't fall off the side of the scone. You can make a little dish out of the cream on top.
The elf looks at you all, looks at them, and holds out his hands as if to say, "See, see." Whereas the odd sound of a bear scoffing, uh, it it takes a minute to realize that that's what this weird sound is, as the bear looks down at you all, looks over at the elf. But the mess is half the fun. Jam first. That way you can put more jam on.
I mean, at that point, you can just eat jam.
But I want the scone.
All
Can't
right, you
just
got me
eat
there.
jam.
You got me
That's
there.
jam is not honey. You can't just eat it on its own. I mean, I guess you
Bite of a
can, but
scone, a bite of jam,
Well, perhaps
one after another.
it is not exactly my expertise for obvious reasons, but perhaps you shovel some jam in your face hole, and then shovel some cream in your face hole, and then put this scone in. You can make big mess that way, or not. That just depending on how much you put in your hole.
there is the sound of two stomps coming from uh, the headless dwarf, and everyone simply looks at him for a second, unable to elaborate at all. The conversation just sort of uh, begins to strike up for a moment before the human woman, who is also dressed in very well made clothing with a golden crown on her head, with a quill tucked into it, gestures for you all to come in again and says, "Please, please join us. We've run out of. We have been here for enough time to. I am Majira Devalzi from Eberron. Are is that where any of you? None of you look like you're from there.
No, no, we are not. Could you get that name again?
Majira Devalzi. UI.
That might be the
And
furthest I've ever been off on a name.
I and Hemlock Firstborn and Banner here are from Toril, and Court and Arlen here are travelers.
Oriel, well, that's my world. And getting up from a seat just inside one of the tent walls where he had been kind of out of sight, a human man in very plain and somewhat rough spun, cheap looking clothing stands up with uh, a large jack o' lantern. It looks like tucked under one arm. Uh, and and he waves with his other hand, says, I'm from down in Golden Fields, near the Sword Coast. I don't I don't suppose any of you are from there. Well, it's a small village, but I came here to speak to Zabilna. I need some help with Yamzu. And he holds up the jack-o'-lantern, which at first does nothing. It just looks like a plain jack-o'-lantern. But as it starts to slip out of his grip a little bit, and he goes to catch this pumpkin, the pumpkin latches onto his hand. It gnaws on his hand for a moment, and he pulls out a now his now bleeding fingers and mutters a few curses before wrapping his hand under his other sleeve and setting the pumpkin down. Yeah, that's Yamzu. It's well, I just need him to stop eating my livestock, you understand? Just
No, I believe I can make him stop eating your livestock.
well, I mean, I don't want him to I don't want to like smash him, like
Oh, then it will be then it will be much more difficult.
yeah, that'd be pretty rude because and the face slides around the outside of the jack-o'-lantern cartoon style to peer at you, Banner, narrow its eyes, and in a reverberating voice that makes the bear cringe a little bit, just says, "You're gonna smash me? God, I'll bite your arms off. Come here." See, yeah, that's well. I mean, he was just the normal pumpkin. I don't know who did this to him, but I'm hoping that Sibilna can, make him nice or something, because I feel like that'd be a pretty good draw at the farmer's market, talking pumpkin.
Yeah, so you don't want him smashed because of the marketing boon. Understandable.
Business potential,
Certainly,
I mean.
yeah, certainly differentiate you from the other vendors.
Plus, like, when he's fed, he's normally fine for a while.
Fed?
Yeah, when he's eating, and he
What?
picks up a large chunk of ham and throws it into the jack-o'-lantern's mouth, which no idea where that actually goes.
That might be
You
the most
see the
upsetting
pumpkin
thing
swallow.
that I have seen since I have been here. That is disturbing.
Mm.
Come on in. Why are y'all here to see Zabilna?
Funny that we're actually here to release her from her prison so that she may actually grant you your wishes. Potentially?
Everybody looks at you very perplexedly. I'm sorry, what now?
You
Yes,
know, she was trapped here with the use of a unicorn horn by 3 hags that call themselves the Hourglass Coven, who have, as of yesterday, been entirely dissolved as they are all dead.
there is the loudest of record scratches as the music immediately stops. Like sound of like cartoon violin strings snapping and curling up as the band, all 4 of the Badgers, look at you and their eyes begin to fill with tears. And they say, "I'm sorry, what? What now? The Hourglass Coven? Oh, oh no. Oh no, they can't be." And the Badgers drop their instruments and wrap each other in their arm, like big group hug, as they just break down sobbing.
I'm dreadfully sorry. What? mm, Why is this a mournful bit of news?
Scabatha, she's the one that lets us speak, and Bavlorna made us these instruments, and Endelin taught us all how to play. Without them, we would just be animals. And they all start sobbing, just quaking in their tears.
Oh dear.
Oh, Endelin the Charitable. Oh, Pavlorna, you sweet thing. Oh, Scabatha, your kindness shall be. We shall remember your kindness. The
I don't
guests,
know if it's
for
any
their part,
consolation. I mean, they tried to eat us, so not
I'd
that.
telepathically tell Arlen, I have not yet told them that we were the ones who killed them.
the rest of the guests look at you with that look of, well, things just got awkward. Thanks, assholes.
I,
As-
I can see the uncomfortable looks on everyone's faces. However, I would suggest we all look on the bright side, and at least we now have a new topic of conversation.
the the guests in the pavilion. Has anyone actually gone into the pavilion, or are you standing outside still? I'm sorry. I know Hemlock, you were
I would have gone
outside.
in.
I would
Okay.
have gone in after I was invited in, yes.
Okay. The rest of the actual guests in the pavilion, all sort of move to one side of the tent as far from the badgers as they can, and do that thing where you like stand in a circle but move in real close to it to sort of lock other people from joining. Put their heads together. Did you hear they killed our hosts? What are we supposed to do now? Who's going to take us to see Zabilna? Well, I mean, the hags have kept us here waiting for some time. How many times have we slept while we're here? Slept? None. How dare you? And not you all not entirely forgotten, but the awkwardness of the situation definitely leaving them a little standoffish. While the Badgers have managed to get to their feet and are dragging their instruments behind them as they walk off into the bushes in the garden.
But I'm very sorry. I did the hourglass coven bring you here with the promise that Zabilna would be granting your wishes?
This is the human farmer who has set Yamzu the jack o' lantern down. Well, we all arrived at different time. Those two, and he points at the halfling and the orc who are frozen in time. They were here when I arrived, and I was the first, or I guess third, with them to arrive. They told us to just wait here, and they would come get us. I wandered the gardens a bit. It's real nice, but I don't know if I miss the sisters
I do
or what.
believe they took you here and left you out to dry. They all took the remnants of the world of Prismere, split it between themselves, and wrested dominion over them, enslaved people, and inflicted their will upon those who lived here. They did not intend to leave.
Well, that can't be right because I mean there was there was that Tens fellow. He not Tenzu. I can't pronounce it. He was from he was from some dark I don't know, some desert world. They took him, and I mean,
And
and he got something, and then he went to those stones, and he gestures over at the circle of stones, and then he left. I mean, I don't know if he saw Zabilna, but maybe the Hourglass Coven's granting wishes.
they certainly are, but they aren't granting any wishes that don't serve them their own selfish purposes.
Yeah, no wishes, just deals, bargains. Not bargains in like the bargain bin. Man, that was a steal. No, they steal stuff.
They stole from us.
The Hourglass Coven's been in charge for like 8 years at least.
I'm
His
sorry.
eyes
What?
go very wide. I'm sorry. That can't be right. I haven't been here for 8 years.
Hourglass Coven may have stolen your time.
Sorry. What did you say your name was?
My name is Sumai.
Pleasure to meet you, Sumat. Yes. Well, I know we have been. We had been waiting 8 years to come here to find what we have lost, or in my case, whom we have lost. Um, so I cannot speak as to when you got here or how long you have been here, only that time works very differently in this place than where we are from.
Suppose you haven't seen a sunset or sunrise since you've been here?
Mm, No, I can't say as I have. Although, I mean, I do get tired and have to sleep. I had to do that once or twice. The chases over there are mighty comfy. Or you can just sleep in the grass. I mean, we've wandered the gardens a little bit, but I mean, we were told to just wait here. Don't go in the palace. That's what they said.
Yes,
Well,
they would.
were these two always frozen in time, or were they as alive and vibrant as you were at one point?
Now, ever since I've been here, they've been frozen. I expect they tried to go in the palace or something.
Then why would they be frozen here?
Because they got frozen in the palace and then deposited back out here. That's
Hmm.
just what I assumed. I mean, I could be. Sounds like there's a lot going on I didn't know.
Well, I mean, you can't take the blame for that, you know. I mean, like that's what they do. But yeah, I mean we're here to get to the bottom of it. So, I mean, I think guys, I think we gotta go in the palace.
I agree. I feel terribly about the wonderful band. I hope they understand we didn't mean any harm by bringing them such dire news. I don't see that their enchantment would break,
Hmm.
seeing as, well, with every other curse that we've encountered placed by any of the Hourglass Coven, there has been some artifact that has been the cause or foundation of that effect. And should that item still remain intact, they should maintain their skills. And I mean, they might, if they are interested, Court Arlen, if they'd like to leave the Fae, I don't know anything about showmanship, but perhaps they would be interesting to have around the carnival.
If they're into that, well, definitely Witch Light could definitely give them a little audition.
Hmm. I do wonder if, like, I mean, if the coven created this band, like, they must have had a reason to do so. And I mean, I don't think it was just to entertain you guys. No offense. Maybe it was to mollify you guys, or mess with your perception of time. Maybe their song altered your senses in some way, unperceptibly.
Hmm.
I mean,
This would be one of the few instances of all three hags working on one subject.
Hmm.
I, I guess that's possible, but I mean, it's not like they play all the time. Like they get tired too, or they have to eat.
Hmm.
Well, we
Wait, y- you said you said your names are Banner, Arlen, Court, and Hemlock. Is that?
Mhm.
Oh, well, hold on. And from the table, he picks up a parcel wrapped in a very lovely silvery paper with a large purple bow on it. Uh, little winged purple fella dropped this off. Uh, I didn't think much of it because I mean it's not not for me, but and he just holds it out.
Arlen?
Yes,
Just assumed that you would be very interested in opening it.
I am. I was worried that you were gonna be like, "Do you think we should trust it?" and like say we shouldn't open it because I really wanted to open it.
I'll like gesture for you to open it, but right before like he touches it, I'm casting detect magic.
You detect terrible evocation, but it's too late, and I touch it.
It definitely is magic. There is a note attached to the front, and I am trying to remember. Do you speak Draconic?
Not I.
Imagine any of us picking up useful languages in this game.
I can do a ritual and take comprehend languages if y'all want to wait an hour.
I'm pretty sure Banner must be an American because he's been around for thousands and thousands of years and has only figured out how to speak Common and Gnomish so he can talk to Harold.
Wow.
I mean,
The
I think that's like par for the course. Like I've got 3 languages and all of them are like evil.
um the package does radiate or rather the contents of the package do radiate transmutation magic, and with the card otherwise unreadable, when you open the package, what you find in there is a hollow metal tube, roughly a foot long, with a string that goes around through the top, with a small wooden mallet taped, not taped to, but fastened to the side with a leather band. I'll have a. I guess I should wait for it to be identified, but whatever. Time of opening. For his part, Sumai looks at the item. That's real fancy, but you know how to play it? Is it? I assume it's like. I mean, usually you find those in like a big. I don't know. Whatever. It's very nice looking. It's very pretty.
Yeah, this is real neat. Thank you for hanging on to this gift for us. I'm sure
Yeah,
it'll
yeah,
come in handy.
yeah. I mean, little purple dragon guy that dropped it off.
Sir
Uh,
Taliver.
sure. Yeah,
Well,
he
that's
can.
who he
He
is.
can.
He's a buddy of ours.
Oh,
We
okay. Well,
rescued him also from, the clutches of evil.
Clarify one of the hags that we've been talking about. Yes.
yeah. I sort of got that feeling. All of a sudden, having a talking jack o' lantern doesn't seem all that weird. And he pats the top of the pumpkin, which snaps at his fingers. Yeah, that's a good Yamzu. Okay.
Well, I mean, is there anything interesting out here in the gardens you think we should take a look at, or you said you wondered it a bit?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's there's the pond. There's I mean, you can go into the waters. It's real nice, and uh, there's a rose garden, but there's a big old fence around it. I don't know. I that place kind of creeped me out, so I stayed out of there.
Sounds
Got
like
a
a place I'm
I,
interested in checking out
bad
for
feeling
sure.
about it,
I,
but
I am, I am curious. Since
Mhm.
you've been here, has any particle of this place moved on its own without you touching it?
I mean, the hags when they or the coven rather when they came and got folks, or the badgers.
But not the gardens themselves. No
No,
running water. It just stands there.
there's a fountain, but I guess now that you mention it, the water doesn't really seem like it flows like it should. I just thought it was real smooth, no bubbles.
I like your pumpkin. Uh, and I'm going to stand up, uh, and dust myself off. Is there anything we can do for you all in the immediate? We want to try to help. We understand that this is disorienting, and probably very distressing.
Uh, the guests all look at you and then look at each other, and the large brown bear says, "Can you break a can you break a curse?" I got I came here to see if the hags would break a river spirit's curse. Is that? I mean, I guess I wouldn't be able to get home still, but if you can break the curse, then I mean that'd be great.
Um, well, I am not very good at breaking curses. I can do it once. Um, but we have discovered that a lot of hag magic requires component parts, and we've been pretty good at finding each component part so that curses may be broken.
Yeah, but it sounds like
Oh,
this one wasn't made by the hags. This was.
yeah. This
Yes. Perhaps if we enter the palace, we might find something that could help you.
um the the human woman Majera pulls the quill from her crown, and it begins writing in air as a piece of parchment begins to steadily materialize. Basically, the quill writes in the air, and the words fall onto a piece of parchment that begins to grow out of thin air, and says, "I don't suppose I could pen a contract for you to. I mean, you do say that you've killed these hags. There is a person that needs to, well, disappear, as it were.
Well, no. I mean, we're not like hitmen or anything like that. Like, I mean,
Okay, but
we.
this is a particularly horrid person."
Would he look like this? And I conjure the image of I'm AFK, but like the bastard wizard that we're
Are you
after,
talking
the
about
dick.
Alec?
Alec,
Yeah.
she looks aghast and says, "Oh dear, no. Oh my goodness, no. I'm not to be married to that. Oh, no, I need an arranged marriage broken, and well, I was going to ask
We know
Sibilna or
we
the
know a
coven."
Cyclops.
We do know a Cyclops who is looking to get married. I don't think that's the
But
solution,
yeah,
but
Okay, I'm
yeah.
you.
Like another
I
arranged
mm,
marriage is not the solution to a
it-
one arranged marriage.
yes, thank you. No, I just. Oh, I'll wait for Sibilna or the hags. Thank you, though. Thank you.
yeah, sorry. Unfortunately, the only hired killer that we actually knew and was probably even remotely competent, we did kill already. So, apologies.
Oh, takes a couple steps back. Oh,
He
oh,
was
oh
trying to
my.
kill a unicorn. I felt like it was well earned.
There was also
Oh,
that one red
my
cap that
goodness.
wasn't really like a hired killer. He was more of just like a serial killer, like a murderer kind of guy. And we took him down.
We killed him too,
So
yes.
we killed him, but that was more because like he was our responsibility because we let him go in the first place. So like if we didn't kill him and he went and killed stuff, then like our inaction was guilty.
But we don't really do contract killing, is I think a very important part of what we are very poorly stating.
I see. Well,
Right. Like if he
I'll just.
threatens like a township or something, then like, a heroic
Sure.
journey maybe, with a reward, like that's different, but like I don't know, if he's just like a shitty guy that you don't want to marry, then I don't
You could fake your own death.
know. The drama.
Oh my.
I definitely cannot do that. I cannot leave my kingdom in a lurch. There's no heir, which is why this marriage was going to. I'll just wait for the hags. I don't need to bore you with the details at this point. Lord Eld, perhaps they can help you with your problem.
Well, as long as we are talking about individuals that are not here, perhaps that we are, in your case, you want dealt with. In my case, individual I am looking for. Um, I'm trying to find my friend. His name is Harold. And as Banner is saying this, he's reaching into his bag and he's pulling out um, a little hand puppet
Oh,
that um, has a nice little sort of red robe and a purple cone for a hat. And I am going to use my glove of mage hand
what the fuck?
to cast minor illusion. And I want to make a minor illusion of Harold Babblepitch. So I operate it like a hand puppet and use my thumb and pinky to wave the hand puppet's little hands around to create this illusion.
Adam, is this revenge for Zashel's sock puppets?
No, this is something we
Yeah,
got
no,
like very
yeah.
early on in the adventure. This is a straight
Oh
up
my
magic
god.
item that we got that I've just been holding on to.
Yeah, you won that in at the carnival, I thought.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god, that's right. Holy shit.
Um, they all look at the image you have created, and for most of them, they just shake their heads. But Sumai, who has told you that he has been here the longest, um, and oddly enough, there is a single stomp from the headless dwarf. Uh, and Sumai said, "Yeah, Obal and I here, we saw that fella Harold. It was real nice. He oh gosh, I don't know how long ago that was. Seems like ages ago that he came. Well, I mean, I like days ago. That he was here. Yeah, the hags. I keep saying the hags. They would not reference them as hags. The coven. While we were waiting, they came in. I mean, they practically greeted him at the gate. Brought him straight inside.
Hmm. Well, this is most helpful. You say that this was, as best you recall, several days ago?
I mean, it was yeah, it was a while ago. I'm
Hmm.
sorry, I can't really say.
Okay, look, this is very good news. With each additional step, I get closer to a reunion with my old friend.
Yeah, he was real nice. I mean, we didn't speak long. Like I said, the coven representatives were on him real quick.
Mhm.
But yeah, he's been here.
And you said that he was welcome with open arms in his effort to get into the palace.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They were awfully nice. They offered him all sorts of of food, and he gestures to all the food that is on the table in the pavilion tent. Offered him whatever he needed. Brought him right inside.
Well,
It almost looked like they were waiting for him. Like it almost looked like they knew he was coming, but I guess that kind of makes sense.
hmm. Well, that is most helpful. It seems there is much I do not know about my old friend. But hopefully, reunion is near and we can catch up. And if I am lucky, he will inform me about some of these elements of his past of which I was previously unaware. And should we get inside and everything goes well, we can ask Zabilna if she might be able to assist with Yamsu. We can ask if she might be able to assist with the removal of the river curse. Is that what you mentioned?
Yep.
And
The elf individual steps forward. I don't suppose that any of you might be able to help with a small problem. And he separates the like he undoes the first couple buttons of his shirt to pull it aside, and at the same time lifts up on the robe that he is wearing, and you can see that in even though he is the pale skin the pale skin of a high elf, the bits that he is showing you, like on his chest and on the like his lower leg, have turned into the same white marble that this place is. Well, not the same white marble, but the same kind of stone that this place is made of. He has slowly turned to white marble. This isn't a curse per se. Every once in a while, you draw on the wrong kind of magic, you understand, and there's a little bit of a surge, and I don't suppose I would very much like to be flesh and bone again instead of stone. No?
I don't
Oh.
think our charm of lesser restoration is going to make that happen. That's a little bit bigger work.
I thought as much.
Look, let us get in there and we'll see what's going on with Zabilna, and I'm sure Zabilna will be able to help.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, thank you. Thank you for taking the time nonetheless. The elf flops a little awkwardly and a little, not dejectedly, but frustratedly, I guess, onto a chair and downs the rest of their goblet of wine. Well, is there anything else that we might be able to answer? I, I don't. I mean, we haven't seen much. Like I said, we've been told to wait here, not to leave the gardens. So you're welcome to enjoy some of the food. It refreshes itself.
Arlen?
Sentence isn't even done, and I'm eating some scones.
Yes, yes. Clotted cream first, then jam. Good lad. Good lad.
Banner is
Roger
conducting
grumbles.
an experiment where he lays out a scone and then puts some jam on top of it and then some cream on it, and lays out another scone and puts some cream on it and then lays some jam on it. And then just for shits and giggles, smears a bunch of jam on the table and puts a scone on top of it and puts some cream on it.
Oh my god.
Well, there's a mess, that's for sure.
Well, I must admit, from my perspective, the entire process appears to be quite messy, so I don't really see the difference.
Are you gonna eat those?
Oh no, by all means, please.
Butter the bear swipes them up.
Just the bear tongue like across the table.
What? Gotta get the jam. You all can spend as much time as you would like in the pavilion, enjoying enjoying the food. The band does return after a few hours, although the musical selection from that point on is certainly a little more down and dour instead of the fairly upbeat and jaunty music they were playing before. The
It's-
rest of the guests.
They're playing their string instruments on the deck of the Titanic.
These poor guys. These poor little guys.
The rest of the guests are quite happy to answer any questions you have, but it becomes clear quite quickly that they have lost track of how long they have been here, and instead um, have simply been waiting in this pavilion for an unknown period of time.
Right. Well, I mean, let's take a look around this place. They said something about a rose garden, walled in, creepy. That's the place I want to go.
I would be honest, I'm quite curious.
Oh yeah, you just if you go straight through the rings here, the stones. I mean, the ring of stones. You'll see a fountain. A little bit to the right of that is the bridge. Go straight over and then hook your first left.
Sounds good. We'll do a little exploring. Just take it easy, and we'll let you know if there's any big developments.
Does anyone know about the symbols on these stones?
I have no idea what they say. No.
Oh well, that makes two of us.
I could look at them, but it sounds as if it might be as simple as a teleportation circle. And I'll step out of the pavilion and I'll cast detect magic. And I'm sorry, that's the dinosaur head. um, and if I need to, I'll make an Arcana check if I can.
Sure. The stones definitely have an aura of conjuration magic, and it is uh, you you did nail it. This is a
Oh my God.
teleportation circle, although the exact specifics of it, you're not sure you could create this somewhere else. You would have to take the time to actually commit it to memory. Although I don't think you have teleportation circles, so that would be kind of
Correct.
pointless anyway.
Now, if I felt like it, I could still get the runes for when I could later cast teleportation circle, but that it would be a colossal waste of everyone's time. So I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, time is not all that valuable.
I mean, you would just
I
have to
think those
write
who
down
have
the symbols, but yeah.
yeah. I think those who have been locked here indefinitely might possibly disagree. Also, I don't really foresee any true purpose in me knowing how to teleport back to this circle.
Certainly, it is entirely within your purview, but if the only concern or the only reason for not doing it was the concern about time, we have all the time in the world.
I appreciate you being willing to offer that. To the weird rose garden.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, when I look over here, is this just a parapet?
No, that is one of the two towers that I mentioned.
Ah, shit.
A
Okay.
marble structure rising well above you. You can definitely see it from where you are. The the base of the tower is essentially at the height of the wall. It's about 10 feet up from the ground that you all stand on. The tower itself rises a further 30 feet into the air. Uh, there are the stairs. There's the stair set. I can control L to see what settings I have this on. There are the stairs that do climb up to uh, a a um, a pair of wooden double doors banded in thick iron bands. There is a a very large, shiny bronze placard above the door, although obviously from this distance reading it is impossible. Uh, the other tower would be over here on the far eastern side, although you do not see the same stairs like you see on the tower to the west. We can either do this old school moving your tokens as you want to go, or if you'd rather, we can. If you are just going to follow the instructions, uh, I am also happy to just jump you to. I leave that up to you.
Yeah, just
Oh.
jump.
Jump us. Put us
Uh,
in the teleporter.
the instructions given by Sumai are fairly easy to follow. By the time you have stepped through the standing stones, you can actually see uh, the fountain that he described, roughly 10 feet across, uh, a, uh, a fountain made out of the same marble that the rest of the palace is made out of, depicting uh, uh, on the outside of the marble is a relief of basically a line of dancing animals, a number of woodland creatures, bears, skunks, possums, raccoons, deer, rabbits, all kinds of things dancing in a circle around the base of the fountain. Um, the fountain itself, the water flows from uh, the sculpted face of a lion. Um, uh, God, what is that city? There's a very famous city on our world that has tons of these things. Florence, the lions. I think it's Florence. The lions of Florence. The fountain. That kind of fountain. Uh, the water, like all of the other water that you have seen, in the water in the river uh, or stream rather that the fountain flows into, uh, is completely frozen in time. It does not. While the water juts from the mouth of this lion, it doesn't move. It's just a solid stream of water. Um, it is not far from there to a large 10-foot wide crenellated garden bridge that is actually a ramp, as well as there's a bridge over the water that then turns into a ramp that leads up to the large parapets that stand outside the front of the palace itself. You cross over the silent, very still river. You can see a number of fish silhouetted underneath the water, um, not moving, just like everything else. And crossing over and turning, you do come to uh, a very an ornate bronze fence circling a very fragrant rose garden with roses in an absolute rainbow of colors, to include uh, white and black, as well as every color in the spectrum. The smell is not quite intoxicating. That's not quite the word I'm looking for, but the maybe that is the word I'm looking for. Regardless, the smell of these roses, they are extremely fragrant, and this is, or at the very least, would be a phenomenally serene place. The arch through through the fence, the gate is ajar. The gates themselves swinging easily. Except you can understand why Sumai and the others wanted to avoid this place. Unlike everywhere else, which stays pristine and clear and clean, the rose bushes here glisten with cobwebs, spider webs, some thick as rope almost, as these webs crisscross throughout the bushes, from bush to fence, from fence to fence, and form almost a canopy, a dome, practically um, over the entire structure. You can make out in the center of the rose garden, standing above most of the rose bushes, a statue of a prancing satyr with a set of pipes held up to his lips. Uh, Wrapped around its brow is a thorny vine. And unlike the rest of the bushes here, this is a singular vine growing out of the ground, growing out of the soil at the base of the fountain, coiling up around this statue, but where all the bushes surrounding and filling the rest of this enclosed garden are singular in color. A bush of just red roses, or just yellow roses, or just white roses. This vine has only 5 roses, and each one is a different color: blue, black, green, red, and white.
Are we entering under the presumption that some large spider has done this? We know one large spider, and he seemed rather fine.
Well, I mean, there's one way to find out. Maybe just be on guard. Um, oh, and Arlen will try to make his way in. How tall did you say this fence was?
It's about 10 feet.
Oh yeah, I'll hop over that easy.
You touch down inside You do hop over it easy, but like I said, the webs do form almost a dome, so you do come down. They're not. They are just webs, so you do break through them quite easily, but they are very sticky still, and so you do land well, and then are pulling uh, cobweb off your feet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how this has happened again, Tyler, but for some reason you have 37 hit points, and I cannot imagine that is correct.
Yeah, I feel like I saw it change very
It
suddenly earlier.
it
And
definitely
didn't
did. It looked
and didn't
like
think about it. Shoot, how many hit points? I'll do the math right quick and
I
figure
can't
out how many hit
imagine you're
points I
too
have.
far from Hemlock or Court.
Yeah.
What's your con?
1. So it's just, 9 plus 5 times 8, 6 times 8. I should be at 57.
Well, looks like Arlen made it over just fine.
It's, do, Kot, I know you can just fly over. Hemlock, do you need a hand?
That would be very kind.
I did say the gate is open.
Okay, I actually was about to look for a gate, but then Banner offered to carry me, which is also fine.
Not that you can't go over, but I did say that the gate is open.
Yeah, I'll just go through the gate.
I think I should try to
Oh.
burn away some of these webs, but I don't want to burn down the garden. Okay, well,
As Hemlock, you come through the gate, and two of you are in the garden. Bursting out of the ground, a number of creatures, which you have seen the like of before.
oh no.
Come on, roll 20. Just work with me here.
Eder caps.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfuckers.
They pop out of the ground, their claws up, their teeth spread and hissing. Sorry.
Oh, is this your garden? Just come to admire the roses.
They hiss at you some more and start taking very, very slow steps towards you. 5 feet each.
Sorry, I mean, we're not for eating. You're gonna need a. Can you? Okay, I'm uncomfortable.
Do you think they speak Undercommon?
I have no idea.
I
I
think
try and goblin just in case.
in Undercommon, I'll say, approach and we should kill you.
They do not seem to understand what you have said, as one of them begins to spin a web in its hands. We will go ahead.
Yeah.
Sugar.
Love a little chance to have a little scrap. Just wanted to give them a fair fight since we stepped into their territory. Or an opportunity to talk.
Mm, Not me first. Oh,
It sure is.
my
Uh,
I'm gonna be completely transparent with you. My brain is a little bit too fried to I don't know if I can take the initiative in this one, gang. Um,
Do you want to just shoot him?
Is that's what we're doing? Is that what we're? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. We're an initiative. Don't move around, Oliver.
You're fine. You're fine. You
It's your
can't
turn.
Gosh.
move.
You can do whatever you want.
I know, but I wasn't keeping track.
Eh.
There you go.
You are also deeply capable of extreme movement, so you're
Yeah.
fine.
Which one's giving us grief, or should I just shoot at whichever one
Uh,
I can see?
all of them are giving you grief.
Okay.
They are all arms up, claws out, teeth doing the spider hiss. The one down by
Yeah.
Banner has well, actually, this one over here has begun to spin a web.
All right. The one directly to my west. I'm just gonna.
Okay.
Whoop-ah! And do I get sneak attack without? Do I get?
Not against that one. You would get it against this one because Banner is there. Otherwise, you would have to
It's
aim.
not how close they are to me. It's how they're close to
Yes.
the enemy. Okay.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
I love you.
Don't. Why quickly? No, I'm kidding. No, I'll still shoot at the one west of me and just try it. And sneak attack might pop up. That's not. Jesus. Same roll.
That's funny.
Yes. That will miss.
I have completely lost Court on my screen. Where did
I'm
he?
right next to you, bud.
Literally right next to you.
His
You're
token's
invisible.
not showing up on Tyler's screen. I see him.
If I
I'll
bring
reload.
you to the front, does that help?
I'm reloading now, so
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sure it's fine. But I was just like, where is? I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I could see the light emanating from his token, but could not see the token.
All right. Well, Hemlock, you are up.
Okay. I'm going to shoot the one that Court blasted. That's not right.
Yeah,
That
that's not adding your.
that's not adding
charisma
shit
mod.
for shit.
Roll 20 seems to be firing on all cylinders tonight.
Let's see.
That
That's my
should be
5 plus 4 plus
They're
2.
just firing at the wrong
That's
person.
right.
Yeah, it reset the damage roll when you leveled.
Yeah. I just wanted
used
to
to have
make
to
sure.
do that for Sacred Flame all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that classic thing that happens to warlocks every time.
Right. And I always forget how to fix it, so I'll do it on my off turn. I'm hitting him again.
Your charisma mod is 4 or 5.
5 now. Hey, it's maxed now.
Okay, so that is 16
And
total
you're-
damage from those 2 hits.
What? Were you gonna make fun of me?
No, I was gonna make a stupid joke. Never mind.
Oh, that I'm the one who's always talking and shit.
No, that your name is also Max and it's at Max.
It's Max.
Oh.
You're Max.
Oh,
You're
gotcha.
Max. Yeah, like I said, stupid.
Okay. I love you. Thank you.
Tyler, I feel you.
Yeah.
That is my turn.
You are up.
Oh, Arlen, that's me. All
Yeah.
right. I only heard
We
like
are here.
Oh,
I heard.
I'm just realizing, by the way, I didn't actually say it, but all of you should have. 2 hours later, you all should have gotten a point of inspiration for answering the questions earlier. So if you don't have that,
Right.
mark that down now.
Cool.
I love the energy we have. We're very here and very not here.
I'm on another planet, my dude.
I'm gonna
I'm
throw out.
completely sober, I promise.
I'm gonna throw out a little spell I like to call Nether's Mischief.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put it. Oh, that's
Basically,
15.
Any
20-foot cube.
yeah.
Let's see. Can I?
think you can get
I can
2
get the
bites
front
too.
3. I'm gonna put it right there to where it gets the 3 that are closest to us.
Okay.
So that's the info. I roll that die 4. That's a 4. Molasses.
Difficult terrain. Oh boy. Okay.
And then I'm gonna throw a bardic inspiration at Banner. Okay, knock him dead, please.
Let's see here. Draw shade. Square. Nope. Green is definitely not the color choice here. Yeah. I did not snap that to grid, so I am doing great. There we go. I can do math. Let me set that to thin now. There we go. Okay. Banner, you are up.
I think they're up.
Ettercap, you are up.
Yo, it's crazy out here. For real.
All right. The one that is here that has been stringing together its webbing is going to lob that at Banner. Wait, I have buttons for this. That is only a 9, however. That will not hit. Two. You have no web. Oh, that is huge. Oh well. The one next to you is just going to lash out at you with claw and teeth.
Mhm.
It's already right next to you. 18, I believe, will miss.
That will miss.
But can it bite you with a 23? It sure can.
Sure can.
Let's wait. Hold on. I can just. That is 6 piercing and 7 poison damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, let me change that first.
Yeah, you're fine. You easily fight the poison off. No, I guess you would have advantage on that, I think. Or are you immune to poison? It doesn't matter. You saved, so.
Ugh.
It's those two. This one is going to pull itself out of the molasses and clamber along the webs right up to you, Court, where it will bite and
Yeah.
claw at you as well. The claws are too slow, too stuck in molasses.
Ted, I apologize. Quick question.
Yep.
Oh, potatoes.
How much of the damage that was done to me was actually poison damage?
7.
Okay, so that's going to be an additional
If you're
4 hit points I get back because I'm resistant to it.
Okay. You all right?
Potatoes and molasses.
It does attempt to bite and claw at you. Oh, I get it now.
Yeah, we don't have to worry. Yeah.
But it does miss.
Oh.
It's a 2 and a 1.
Wow.
Talking spiders and molasses.
So
A
true.
web at Arlen.
Bring it.
17 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits.
You need to make. No, I'm sorry. You are restrained. You are stuck in place by the web. You take no
Mhm.
damage. As an action, you can attempt to escape,
All right.
or you can try to destroy the webbing
Mhm.
on your turn to escape.
Oh,
And that is.
potatoes. Oh my god.
That is the Ettercap Banner. You are up.
It appears this one learned its manners from Yamsu. And I will take a couple swings.
Yeah, those will both hit. Oof. What is it, 23? Yeah.
And
Hey, come here, buddy.
I will use my bonus action to try and grab him.
Alrighty. Yeah, you punch into him, and you have a firm grip on the setter cap.
Great. I would like to push him further back in this direction, trying to
Okay.
hold him in the molasses while I'm out of it, but I have absolutely no idea how that would work considering my movement's half. He's already in difficult terrain, so just however far you think I could get, that I'm just going to try and push him back.
Let me do the math here. Doubled and doubled is essentially, because it's double the base, it would cost you 15 feet of movement to go 5 feet, so you could push him back 10 feet. 2
Okay,
squares.
great. Yeah, so I'll push him back 2 squares.
Okay.
And I'll just be, I guess, right there.
There. Okay. Alrighty. Round 2, Court, you're up.
Whee! All right. Does close range have? No, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Oh, I will use this time.
Okay. That will hit.
Whatcha? Ouch. Take that.
That does bloody him.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Anything for bonus action? Do you want to move?
No, I'm good. That's it. Well, no. Bonus act. No. No, I'm good. I'm staying put. I'm staying put. I'm staying put. All good.
Okay. Hemlock.
1 second. It's the same shit that I'm always doing. Just 1 second.
Yep.
Okay. Which one? Which one? Which one? I can see this one, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Little bit of cover from all the trees and the statue, but yeah, you can still see it.
Okay.
The 28 will hit. Oof.
Ooh. That's it for me.
Alrighty. Arlen. I think you are muted because I see you drawing, but I don't hear anything.
Yes, oops. I will move the square here since
Okay.
I have learned that I can do that. And then roll again. Another 4, more molasses.
Okay.
And that is just what happens at the start of my turn.
Yep.
So, bonus action, I will roll on my Spirit Tales table. D8. That's a 6. And those tails are here, and a 6 is that, and a 7 is that, and a 5 is that. I'm gonna throw the Tail of the Avenger on Banner. For the next minute, any creature that hits Banner with a melee attack will take force damage, 1d8 force damage. As the spirit of a pugilist is like hovering around and just throwing punches at anyone that hits Banner.
Okay.
That'll be my action and my bonus action.
Okay. Um, bleeding from the mouth where you and all the other places where you have stabbed him, this Addercap will attempt to hit you with a web court.
No
Uh,
way!
of
I
all the
didn't
things to
disengage. How did that? How could I not see that coming?
of all the things for me to roll a natural 20 on, the one that doesn't do damage is a pretty good one.
No fucking way.
You are restrained,
I'm
and
gooped up for
I
real.
wanna. Can I? Silvery barbs. Don't goop my
Whoa!
friend.
sure. that,
Headstone says it all game.
I mean, it doesn't do damage, so
No, yeah, but I don't want them to have to be restrained because that removes any chance of them getting a sneak attack.
oh, that's a good point. That is a valid point because it does give you disadvantage. That does change that to a miss, and the Ettercap is going
Alright.
to try to run away still.
I
So
will
if you'd
give
like to take,
the advantage to Court.
Oh
Alright,
my
he didn't goop you.
god,
Get him.
oh my god, Pog.
if you would like to take the attack of opportunity as it runs away, you are welcome to.
I think I will. I think I will. I think I will.
You've got advantage, and that means you get sneak attack if you hit.
Yep, that definitely hits.
Holy shit.
You do have advantage, so you can roll again if you would like to see if you crit.
Yeah, see if you crit.
No.
Alright.
What the fuck? That can't be right. That can't be right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Dang.
we're freaking masters,
Yes,
bro.
sneak attack's
No
brutal.
way.
Sneak attack gets fucking nasty.
yeah. It turns to flee, and you just sink your Sir Talavar's sword right into its back, and it falls over. Bad decision on his part.
I'd give you a high five, but I'm kind of stuck here. And he just wiggles in the web a little bit.
Oh my god, I gotta ungoop ya.
No, it's okay. I'm fine being gooped. I don't need to like aim or anything. You know, my stuff's kind of easier than that.
Yeah, but you're such a beautiful jumper.
Yeah, we'll miss your hops while you're gooped.
Well, I don't want to stay gooped forever, but it's not like an immediate concern.
And it will claw at Court and bite at Harlan.
Wow, that is so rude. That is so rude. That is so rude.
You did just shank his buddy.
That is
Does a
so
16 hit? Does a 16 hit Court?
that depends on what my sheet says. Yeah, it does.
Um, that is 7 points of slashing damage.
Ouch!
And at Arlen, you are restrained, right?
Mm-hmm.
A
It'll
19
be.
to
It'll
hit.
be. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It'll be. It would be interesting to see him not hit me.
That is 4 piercing and 7 poison damage. And I need a Constitution saving throw.
All right.
I have no idea if Nelthair's mischief is concentration or not.
Yes, it is. Okay, so you said 4 and 7.
Mhm.
Okay. And Constitution, that's failure.
Okay, you are poisoned for 1 minute.
Sweet. And but
Concentration
I
is
concentrate.
good. Righty.
Poison doesn't give me disadvantage on saves, just on checks, right?
Correct. Ability checks.
Yeah. Okay.
Banner, the one that you are grappling is going to try to break out. So if you could make a grapple check.
Mm-hmm. I will use that bardic inspiration die, assuming I can use it for this.
Yeah, ability check.
Yeah. What is it? A D10 at this point?
D8 still.
D8. Oof.
A 16 is still good enough to maintain your grip on the Ether Cap.
Fantastic.
Meanwhile, his buddy will join the fray and try and claw and bite at you. Does the tail only trigger if they hit or just if they attack?
On a hit. It's whenever
Okay.
they deal damage.
All right. The claw will miss, but I believe a 21 will still hit you for the bite
Yep.
for 10 piercing and 2 poison, reduced to 1 poison, so 11 total.
Okay.
I
Ooh.
will need a Constitution saving throw and the damage from.
Yeah, there it is. Oh yeah, all right.
Nice. Is it just a die, or does it also add your charisma modifier?
Just the die.
Okay.
It is hits with a melee attack is the specific, actually. So not just any damage.
Okay. Gotcha. That should be all now 3 of the Ether Caps. Banner, it is your turn.
Okay. Let's see. So this guy is grappled by me, so he takes 4 points of damage just right off the bat.
Okay.
And then I'll start swinging.
At the one you are grappling or the other one?
Yeah, the one I'm grappling.
Okay. Yeah, that'll hit. Still up, but not. Oh, probably not after Braun. Yeah, nope. That is 20 damage.
And then with my bonus action, I'll reach out at this other guy. Actually, yeah, I'll reach out at this other guy and try and grab him.
That's my third nat one of the night, so that's not going to
Oof.
do it. All right, yeah, you got a hold on him.
Yeah, that I'm gonna just stroll over here just to get a little closer to everybody else and drag him along with me, just in case I need to get involved with this other fool. But that's my turn.
I assume you're dragging him through the difficult terrain.
Yeah.
Okay. So send him to the front. All right. We wrap back around to Court. There are 2 of these creatures left, one of whom is standing right next to you and Arlen.
Alan gets the stabbies. Stabs. He gets the stab. Do I have? Never mind.
That will hit, and you do get sneak attack because Arlen is there.
Okay.
In retrospect, that was the worst place for this thing to stand.
Well,
It doesn't know how D&D works.
so
This Ettercap never read the PHB.
it's really true. It's really true.
Yeah,
It's really true.
that thing went from looking fine to pretty bloodied real quick. Anything else? You have a bonus action or movement if you'd like.
I mean, no, I'm good. No, I'm good.
Hemlock.
Pew pew.
This is the one in front of.
Yeah, this one over here.
Okay.
Oh,
The first
wait,
blast will.
Yeah,
will end there,
I'm
though.
hitting that one, but I'll leave it up to you whether or not I can redirect the second one.
I mean, it's just like multi-attack, so you can decide after each individual attack.
Yeah, but since I didn't say anything,
I
um,
mean, but both would hit both, so it's
yeah, I'll hit them both if I can.
all right. There is only one left. Arlen.
I admittedly didn't see him because the webbing on his token matches webbing on the map.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to use that to keep track of an ability if I need to
No, you're
refresh.
fine. It's just like that was my fault.
The scaling is all messed up because of the map. Like the
That one,
dots should not be this huge.
Banner's got that last one grappled, right?
I do.
You know,
I will cast Dissonant Whispers at it, and just you know, here's a discordant melody, harsh whispers in the back of its head, and yeah, just a level 1, so wisdom save, and they aren't gonna run away because of this. Oh, I do need to also D4. That's a 1. If there's mischief, smell of apple pie fills the air, and each creature in the queue must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become charmed by me. Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Does save, but still takes half damage.
Mhm.
So
And then
it's
wisdom save or be charmed, but I don't think that's going to matter whether or not they're charmed.
Yeah, probably not, but we'll just roll it off anyway. It is charmed. Let's not get lucky twice. Anything else?
That is it.
Okay. This creature looks very frantic, seeing its compatriots dead on the ground, and it is looking really rough. It is going to try to get away from you.
All right.
As it looks blindly panicked. These are the ways that I know that I just need to find a new game to play.
Oh
As
no.
I
Ted, you're doing
roll a net
wonderful.
20 and still lose by 1.
Ted, no.
It
Oh my
does, you do maintain your grip on this creature that is very clearly trying to frantically get away. And you are up.
All right. Let's see if I can help him get away from living.
That'll hit. That will also definitely hit. And that will end this one.
Yahoo!
Yay!
We did it. It's murder.
I'll start working on the webs that have Arlen locked in place.
It doesn't take you very long to pull them up, pull them off of Arlen. Arlen, you are able to move. And we're a little late, so let's go ahead and take a 15-minute break. Be back at quarter till.
Cool beans.
All right.
Wow.
Right back. You pluck the white rose from the vine, and as you pull it from the vine to hand it out to Arlen, frost begins to form on the petals of the rose. It does not wilt. It does not seem to be hurt by this. It just slowly coats itself. Well, it slowly coats in frost.
Oh, I see.
Oh, that is very funny.
Well, I will take it and I will just pin it, put it in the front pocket of my jacket.
Okay.
So if the white one becomes cold, what do you think happens to the other colors?
I would be very wary of the black one, I think.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing. Perhaps you are right. Maybe not so much with the picking of the roses.
Let me. I'll adjust my monocle to cast detect magic.
All 5 of these roses are magical, um, with transmutation or abjuration magic on them. I don't know why I covered my mouth like you can see me chewing.
I
It
do them
probably
all
made
the
it hard to
time.
hear.
Oh, we heard you fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Uh, well, they are magical, like you said. As you assumed, darling. Um, I suppose we could take time to identify them if you'd like.
Well, I mean, if you say like abjuration, maybe they're like, I mean, there's that spell absorb elements kind of thing. Maybe it's like they're elemental. Like, I mean, aren't the chromatic dragons those colors?
Yes. I just don't know a lot about this botany or really dragons. So
Well, how about we identify the one that we've already plucked, and we can infer from there.
sure, I will do so with a ritual.
It is Shabai, a white chromatic rose. That should have popped up for you.
Hmm.
Ooh.
I explain it in comprehensive terms.
Yeah, I was trying hard to like not get like too metagamey because I did kind of know what these were. Um, because I kind of adapted one of these to be the gold rose that y'all found in
In Theros.
Theros. Um, and then like whenever I found these on 5e tools, like it did have Wild Beyond the Witchlight tagged as their source. But I was like, okay, well, Arlen's not read the PHP. Um, okay, so it's a delicate thing. I'll be careful with it. But yeah, I mean, if this one's white and frosty, then like red's probably like the same thing but fiery, and blue is lightningy, and green is poisony, and black is acidy, I think.
Would we? I don't know. Is this something we are interested in taking? Again, this is a garden of an archfey.
We're saving her, you know. I'm sure she'll be all right. Okay. Well, look, I don't want to. I don't want to. It's just like, you know, if it does that thing that you're talking about, like it seems like it's like maybe a weapon that could be used to, you know, if we encounter some other enemies. I don't know if we will though.
We will at least have the members of the League who remain in the palace that we'll have to deal with in some way.
Well, I mean, it's up to y'all. I'm not gonna press my luck and take all 5 myself or anything like that. Um,
Well, funny you should say such, as you and Court would be the only one who could make, I feel, use of the green if it is chromatic, as you say, and based on dragonology, then I would assume that that would be the one that can protects you from poison. And I've been around a lot of dangerous chemicals most of my life, and they don't bother me, and they don't seem to bother Banner either.
No, not very much. Kurt, how do you feel about adding a green flower to your outfit?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
I will pick the green rose and hand it to Court.
Yahoo!
You pluck the green rose, and as you do, there is a puff of green gas from the there's a puff of green pollen, basically, that every few seconds continues to puff.
Oh, oh my.
Emlock, would you care for the blue or the red?
Well, fire doesn't bother me either. Crematoriums and all that.
Hmm.
I would suppose the blue one.
I will pick the blue rose, hand it to Emlock, and I will take the red one.
There is the green one for Court. I don't know why
Yahoo!
they could not put these all on one sheet like they do in. Oops. There is blue. You pull the blue one, and much like the lightning rods that you saw in Yon, there is a tiny crackle of electricity that dances from thorn to thorn up to the blossom along the stem.
I'm kind of
You are
obsessed with
taking
this aesthetic.
red, which immediately looks like it begins to burn. Flame dances
Whoa.
from the very tips of the rose petals.
Now, I mean, the black one just looks kind of lonely now.
Did that pop up?
It did.
Yes.
Red. Okay. I couldn't remember if I hit the button. Oh, wait, I could have looked at the thing.
All right, well, I guess we should get out of here.
We were told about the pond. And are we curious enough to investigate the towers, or should we just try to get in the front door?
Curious is my middle name. That's not true. It's Preston. I want to
Lord.
retract that. That does not sound good whenever I said Arlen Preston in my head.
Oh my God. Oh, word to God.
Oh my god.
I think Arlen's gonna wander down this way.
All right. I should stop eating so that I can actually speak and run this game.
Sometimes you gotta snack.
There is a
Brennan did a whole
company
monologue about it.
That
called
was so funny.
hmm
Crazy Monkey Baking. They make these granola cookie clusters. These are cranberry almond. I love cranberries. And they're just so good. And I just can't stop eating them, so I'm just going to put them away.
Almonds and cranberries. That's a great snack.
Just outside the garden on a little peninsula or near the bend of the river, a large gleaming great axe is embedded in the stump of the stump of a tree. The rest of the tree is nowhere to be found, but this axe, which shines very brightly in the twilight of the sky, um, sits undisturbed.
There's an axe over here if y'all want to look at it. Again, this might fall in messing with things in a fake garden, but I don't know. It looks a little too heavy for me.
Oh, well,
Mm.
I wonder who this axe belongs to. Did you say it was a great axe?
Hmm.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
It is.
uh,
It is a large. Well, it is a large single-bladed, like
mhm,
woodcutter axe. It is mechanically, it's a great axe, but
okay.
it is quite clearly larger than your typical like wood splitting axe, like
Well,
you'd
well,
go
yes,
buy
and
at
it
Home
is
Depot or something.
is even larger than this. And Banner will pull out his battle axe for the first time this campaign.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
I feel like you've pulled it out once before. You've never used it.
I
You
threw a hand
offered it to
axe once
someone, I think.
before. Oh, maybe I did offer it to somebody.
You offered it to Talavar. That's what it was, because he was
That's right.
offering you his sword.
Yeah.
He's like,
Uh, yeah, I'm gonna pick it up and start swinging it around. See how it feels.
uh, it. You plant your foot and yank
Right.
to get
Mhm.
this axe out. It is pretty tight in there, or
Mhm.
not tight in there. It is pretty stuck in there.
Mhm.
But you are able to pull it out. It has immaculate balancing. Feels feels pretty good.
This is a lovely piece of equipment. It's a shame it should not be left out like this, even in a place that is in stasis. Um, Perhaps I should hold on to it just in case we come across its own air.
I'll detect magic on this one again.
It is definitely magic.
I don't think that's a bad idea at all.
Wonderful. I know just where to keep it. And I will jam it right next to the battle axe in my crate.
Definitely takes up, like, you have to turn it
Mhm.
diagonally
Right.
so that it's going from corner to corner of the crate,
Yeah,
but it'll
love
fit.
it. I basically have to take everything out of the crate, put that in first, and then fit everything else around it. Now, just one more second. No, this is no. Well, it's a good thing that I am an expert dragon chess player. I know how things move in unusual ways, so I slide this in to tilt it 30 degrees. Yes. No, we will be fine. I just need 20 more minutes. No. And he gets his crate all packed up, and well, where to? To the towers or to the lake?
Pond sounds faster.
Heading to the
Very well.
pond.
Yeah.
The both of the rivers, or I keep saying rivers, streams, connect to this pond. A very large pond dotted with bright green lily pads, and you can see frogs frozen but swimming in the in the waters of in the very still waters of this pond. There are a number of dragonflies, which oddly enough are not frozen, flitting about, and every once in a while swooping down to feed on a cloud of of fireflies, which are glowing, glowing like little pinpoints of light over the lake, uh, never going out until one of these dragonflies swoops by to feed on them. The water itself is crystal clear. You can see down to the bottom of the pond. Which doesn't seem to be exceptionally deep, 10 feet or so, um, with, like I said, a number of fish and frogs and other aquatic life frozen in place within its waters.
Don't know that we have a lot that we can do besides freeing time in the rest of this garden.
Is there anything unusual in this pond? I mean, it's unusual that things are frozen, but that's the state of this garden as a whole. Is there anything that one would not expect to see in a pond? Good question,
No,
Max.
no women handing out swords.
Oh, so there's a dude handing out a sword. I'd like to talk to that dude.
uh, as you peer down into the water, there's nothing that immediately jumps out as odd about the water. There is a school of fish that at first looks like it is frozen in time, but as you watch, you realize that this school of fish is in fact slowly moving. But it looks like at some point they hit instead of there is some sort of almost invisible barrier, it looks like, where they hit this, and sort of like something going off the side of a mirror, the fish as they reach this point just slowly disappear and then reappear at the far side of the cloud of not cloud, the school of fish. There is no visible line as to why this is happening. There's not like an object or a portal or anything that is doing that. There is just this rather peculiar school of fish at the bottom.
Blinkfish.
Ah, the deadly bleach.
But that's all you can tell by looking at and into the water.
Does that bother anyone?
I
In the-
mean, I guess that kind of means that like time's not frozen, it's just moving so slowly.
Hemlock flips through some of the pages of his book and says, I don't really have any useful magic for altering the shape of water. I don't know that there's anything to do that might improve the situation here.
Yes, I mean, I am a little curious about what is in uh, the void space that the fish just seem to disappear and reappear in another location. Is it some sort of portal or magic or just a simple parlor trick like Arab used to use in our act?
I'll try another detect magic to see if I get conjuration or a teleport, something.
There is no magic emanating from this land, other than, the ambient magic of being in the
Hmm.
Feywild, in a place which is clearly under some sort of spell affecting everything else. There is nothing specific to the pond, is what I'm getting at.
Weirdly enough, there doesn't appear to be anything directly, anyway, affecting these creatures. They're not even illusions themselves.
Oh, well, that had not even occurred to me, but now I guess it is nice to know they are actually fishes. But yes, I can make neither heads nor tails of this pond or what is going on inside of it.
that should be all of that. Then towers, front door.
Arlen, did you say you wanted to check out the tower?
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, we might as well tick that off the whole checklist.
Wonderful.
So as I said, there are two towers. You are
I only see
Two
one with a
towers.
staircase.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was about to say. You are directly across the pond from the eastern tower, which seems to lack the staircase that you saw on the western tower. There is a there is the wall of the garden over here that does run directly into the tower, and you can see that unlike the rest of um, unlike the rest of the wall that circles the garden, this one is a walkway. You can see that it is connected to part of the castle itself. This tower, much like the western tower that you saw when you landed and through the standing stones, is about 30 feet tall. It starts much like the western tower. It starts about 10 feet off the ground. There is basically like a 10-foot base to the tower, higher than the garden floor. Um, the tower, the top of the tower is smooth. You don't see any sort of crenellation or unlike the towers of the actual palace, which have the blue conical roofs. This one does not have that. It just the tower walls go up.
Well, we can fly, but we might as well try the accessible one first. Well, I mean, this one is closer. What do you all think?
Well, this one's harder to get into, so I'm more interested.
All right. Should we get the lily pad out?
Yeah. Uh, that'll get me and you. Of course, got wings. Uh,
I will just walk up the side of the wall.
oh yeah. All right. Good to go. I was gonna offer to like turn you into a mouse or something, but
Oh, well, I have
that
never been a mouse.
maybe
Maybe,
one day, but
maybe
I'll
later.
save some energy.
Perhaps we save the time that Banner experiences having flesh for the first time when there's a little bit more of a controlled environment.
I will drag you all up. As you are going up to get on the walkway, um, I assume you're headed for the walkway, or are you headed to the top of the tower?
Walkway makes sense.
I figured because it's about 10 feet up to the walkway. It would be another 20 feet beyond that. I'm sorry, another 30 feet beyond that to get to the um, wow, brain cut out there, to get to the top of the tower. Um, you all are able to fly and or climb to the top of this walkway. There are double doors at either end of the walkway, and looking out, you can see looking out over the crenellations. You can actually see to the north, to your left, as you are looking out, the rather enormous beanstalk that has lifted part of one of the towers off. Has essentially broken through walls at various points um, to exit the castle. This beanstalk is not actually growing up from outside of the castle. It is somehow started inside and has broken its way out. Uh, like I said, there are double doors to the north, and then the doors to the south, to the tower to the south. Uh,
Tower doors.
um, a a large bronze plaque hangs over the doors to this tower. The words etched into it, or the word etched into it in common, is simply wrath.
Wrath?
Wrath. Rawrath. Wrath. Oddly enough, this is one of the many things that I wish they had put a hand out for. They didn't, and I did not think to create one until this very second. Uh, but yes, the word wrath.
Ominous?
Yes, very. Are we sure that we want to try this door?
Arlen?
I'm sure that I want to, but I understand misgivings. Um,
Oh, well, I mean, we are here, and we have faced many dangers together. How dangerous could a door be?
well, I mean, I'll bite that bullet. Um, and I'll move up and try to open the door.
The door is unlocked and opens quite easily. Looking inside, I should probably actually delete that door, huh? Come on, lighting layer. Work with me here. Work with me here. Why is this one the GM layer? Oh, I know why I did that. Looking inside, the tower itself is open to the sky. There is no roof to this tower, which is full of hawthorn trees, just filled from end to end. And through the trees, through a narrow path that leads almost directly to the center that is clear of trees, you can see a marble pedestal directly in the center of the tower with what looks like a heart, a stag, H-A-R-T, not, you know, thing in the chest. A stag made up of iron stands on top of a large marble pedestal. The sound of metal hooves, not just striking marble, but also dragging along the marble as it paws like a bull preparing to charge. Uh, there are dozens of empty baskets strewn all about the ground around this pedestal, and with a few snorts that, cartoon style have little smoke, steam clouds, little air puffs. It paws the ground a few times, lifts its head up uh, to look down at you all imperiously, and says in a very just a voice which is clearly used to uh command is not quite the word I'm looking for, but in a voice that is clearly used to commanding respect, I should say, it says, the Iron Heart speaks and just says, "We are Wrath. Kneel before us."
I'll get down on one knee.
Yeah, Banner will get down on one knee, although as he's doing it, he will sort of say, us, I am afraid I only see you.
Arlen will follow suit and kneel.
I don't know if Court is back or not.
Nah, he put me in charge of his sheet.
Okay. Uh, as you each kneel down, the iron stag nods its head just barely, just to be noticed. And as you all are knelt, it gives one last approving nod and says, "Approach us. You may visit us here in our tower. Who are you that have come to Zabilna's residence? Who are you that are allowed to wander?"
We are the time bandits because we're destroying the hourglass. Sorry.
I see. We see. Our presence here means that our mistress is gone. This hourglass you speak of, the coven, I assume, we assume. I'm gonna keep fucking that up.
Yeah, I get that for sure. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Maybe you can enlighten us a little bit. The coven. I mean, there was only 3 of them, and there are 0 of them now. But things still seem a little tense, iffy, bad.
Hmm. If we are here and we are awakened, then the palace is locked down. Have you the crown?
We don't have a crown, do we?
Hemlock starts going through his bag. A crown. What sort of crown?
If you do not have it, we will speak no further of it.
I'm going through my list of stuff. I don't think I'm not misremembering that that's not something we've bumped into at this point, right?
Correct.
Okay. Thank God. If we are not to speak of the crown, then what more may we speak about?
Ask your questions. We know little beyond our purpose here to protect the gardens and the palace from intruders. While Zabilna is absent, we have been awakened. If you have ventured beyond the garden pavilion, we can no longer protect you. It is not our responsibility to protect visitors.
What is going on in the pond?
What do you mean?
Well, there's a school of fish in that pond that continues to move a little bit, even though everything else in the pond is frozen. And it moves and it moves and it moves until it gets to a certain area, and then poof, it disappears, and it reappear in a different location.
Okay, I'm taking from what you have just said that I did not explain this correctly. Um, okay.
I think, in fairness, I think you explained it correctly, and I think Banner is just like dumbfounded by what was going on there.
Okay. The Wrath, the Ironheart, looks down at you but says nothing.
Hmm.
Without the crown, you will not be able to access. We are not speaking about this until we are. Without it, you will not be able to access portions of the palace.
I'll
Return to us if you should acquire it.
turn to everybody else with it. Seems fairly straightforward. We have to acquire this crown.
Yes, I think so.
Hmm.
Just to catch you up, Oliver, you all flew up onto the walkway into the eastern tower, opened it. There is an iron, basically a stag, a very large iron stag standing on a metal plinth, who introduced themselves as hello, Benedict, who introduced themselves as Rat.
And raise his hand. Do we know where the crown is? The crown that we need to get?
We do not.
Okay, fine. All
Um,
right.
I do have a question for you. Do you have a counterpart in the Western Tower?
It the iron stag rears up and slams down its front hooves on the marble plinth with the sharp crack. We do not speak of envy. We do not like them.
Okay. Do you have any crown clues for us, though? You got any fun crown clues? Any fun riddles that'll lead us to where we need to go?
We have spoken as much as we are able about the crown.
Got it. Thank you.
Well, So I know you don't want to speak about envy because it's very bad and you do not like it. However, if we were to go speak with envy, would they tell us that we need something in addition to the crown?
It is unlikely.
No. So it's just the crown. But maybe it is just you that will not talk about the crown if we do not have it. Maybe envy is a big chatterbox, and that is why you do not like him.
It just does another snort. Speak no further of envy. Impertinence will not be tolerated in my tower. In our tower.
Well, I have to ask. You keep saying our and we and us, but I see only you. Is there someone else here?
We are Wrath.
So royalty, I think, maybe. I shrug at Banner.
Yeah, well, Neither I nor Arlen engage in such formalities. I thought it was a little strange. But
Yeah,
to
but
each
he's a big creature, he's a big beast. Sometimes big cool beasts do that kind of thing.
yes, and
Also,
you
the
are
two
right.
of you are only nobility as of less than a 10-day, so
Hmm. Oh, it's true. I guess to each monarch their own. We will come back when we have the crown, and we will speak further.
We
thank you.
await your return.
Um, Banner turns his back to walk out, and as he does, he takes his little leather disc that he's wearing and just shifts it around to simulate rolling his eyes.
Ha! And as we're like outside the tower, and as Banner's like beginning his descent down the wall, and we're kind of floating beside. I mean, his name is Wrath. I can't really say that I should be surprised.
Well, he didn't. They didn't attack us, so that's good.
Yes. I anticipate that envy should likewise be as amicable. Should we try then to find the crown first? Do you think it might be in the pond?
I mean, I guess it cannot hurt to look.
As we're getting closer to the ground, I'm gonna send a message to do. His name is Sumai.
Mhm.
And just ask him if he's seen a crown around here, or if any of his friends have seen a crown.
No, sure haven't. I mean, besides the one that that Lady Majera is wearing, or the one that Lord Eld is wearing.
I can't imagine that. I say like to the group. I can't imagine that the crowns of those who are also trapped here in this garden would be the crowns that the crown that Wrath's referring to.
Yes, it does seem awfully unlikely.
There's only the other tower and the pond, perhaps the fountain.
Well, it seems we are here. Perhaps we should check the pond. What do you think is the safest way to go about examining the contents of this pond?
I don't see anything dangerous inside it, and I don't see any magic within it. So long as you should keep your head above water. Well, you don't even need to keep your head above water.
But very well. And I'll put my box down and take off my jacket and fold it and put it on top of the box. And I'll just
Oh
start
dear
with
God, I just recalled I also don't need to keep my head above water.
yes. I'll just start wading into the water.
You have taken 2, maybe 3 steps into the water. The water, no more than up to like your mid calf.
Mhm.
When the school of fish, which previously had been swimming largely in place, doing the weird sort of disappear and reappear at the other end, almost as if they were stuck in a small separate bit of water, begins to swim up to you and
Mhm.
then around you and then rising up to the surface as as parts of the school of fish, as individual fish begin to breach the surface of the water. It is not fish that rise up out of the pond surface. but a clear hand made of pure water. Holding up what appears to be a crown of silver needles.
Oh,
The
That
school
was
of
easy.
fish, which previously had been in just a cube, has taken on a vaguely humanoid form. Think in cartoons when like the insects uh when the insects like, swarm and make shapes. That sort of thing, but uh the shape of a person, but above water, above the surface of the pond rather, just pure water. Do I have a thing for this? A handout. Holding up this crown. I do not actually have a handout for this. That makes me sad. But like I said, you have made it 3 or 4 steps when this hand raises a crown up out of the water.
Oh, well, if this is not the crown that Rat was talking about, then this is a very strange coincidence. And I will reach out and try and grab the crown.
Despite your metal body, as you take this crown, 2 things happen. The first being, despite your metal body, this crown, crafted as it appears to be from needles made of silver, it hurts to grasp. The needles digging into your metal body as though it were soft flesh.
oh.
It's not it is not enough to deal damage, but it is uncomfortable. It hurts like a son of a bitch, which is pretty unusual for
Yes,
for you and your metal frame.
I will tell you what, if this is what it feels like to have flesh on a regular basis, I would have rather experienced this as a mouse.
To be stabbed? No.
The second thing that happens is, and you are the only one to hear it as you uh, peer down at this crown, a voice, a voice like a voice that sounds like the the gentle flow of a stream or a creek whispers something just barely loud enough for you to hear. I rather than uh, try to repeat this over and over, I will pop this up. The beginning of whenever, the end of ever after, the start of an age, the finale of every moment, the first in history. That repeats every 10 or so seconds that you hold this crown. And you stand a little caught unawares at first because you're not used to, one, the voice is startling enough, but you're also just kind of not used to um, the sensation of pain that this crown is causing. And you manage to stumble back out of the lake, but after a minute you involuntarily open your hand and the crown drops.
Oh, goodness gracious. While holding the crown, I hear this whispering. I recite the poem. The beginning of whenever, the end of ever after, the start of an age, the finale of every moment, the first in history, and it is soft. It is not like screaming, but it just repeats and repeats and repeats until eventually, involuntarily, I drop the crown. No.
Uh,
Oh,
Hemlock is like thinking about what you've just said and says, Rat? WRAT? Beginning of whenever, end of ever, after, start of an age, finale of every moment. Rat?
Come again?
No, yeah, I see. I see. The poem spells wrath. The beginning of whenever is W.
I
The
don't
end.
think my joke is that Adam actually didn't tell us the last line.
Yeah. There must be another clue somewhere. We're missing the H. Where?
well, I don't know. You pick up the crown, see what you hear.
Arlen will pick up the crown.
The same gentle stream of a voice sounds through your head as you experience the same pinpoints of pain that this crown simply touching it wherever you touch one of the many needles that makes up this crown, it you can feel it piercing your skin, even though it does not draw blood and does not cause damage. It still hurts.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's the last line here. Yeah. No. Yeah. You got it. This is the crown. Well, you want to go talk to our buddies?
Do you want me to hold it?
I mean, if you want, sure. Here, go for it.
I just opened my bag.
Yeah, I'll slip it in there.
Okay. Back up the tower.
You float and or climb back up the tower, and Wrath is in his spot on the pedestal, looking down at you. In addition to this the sort of imperious look that he had before, there is a very clear hint of a knowing look. We have been expecting you.
We have the crown now.
The crown, as we have been instructed, is a key, a failsafe created by the ruler of this domain. Placed upon our head, it will unlock the heart doors within the palace. There are
Would
two forms, one of silver needles, one of golden roses. Only one shape can be placed upon each of our heads. Done incorrectly, and we guardians, along with the crown, will vanish. Choose wisely. Or be aged. Sorry. Indiana Jones joke.
Mhm.
would it be prudent to wait to crown you until we have also crowned envy? Or should we offer yours to you now?
This is your decision to make.
Well,
To open the doors, the crown must be transformed. Only one of our heads will do this. The other, as I said, will destroy all of us. And then the doors inside will remain locked to you.
so just so I am clear, we have the silver crown. You are saying there's a second crown, a golden crown?
One and the same.
Hmm. And we
And should we bring the crown to Envy, it should be a crown of roses. And whichever we anoint would either open the gate or lock it forever.
I, Ted, have probably messed something up in my explanation here. Wrath is explaining that the crown that you have gathered, the silver needle crown, must be placed on either Wrath or Envy, one of the two guardians, to transform it
Okay.
into the golden version.
Oh. Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Once
Okay.
that has been done, you can use it to unlock doors, but choosing the incorrect guardian removes both the guardians and the crown, leaving the doors inside the palace locked, as you would no longer have the key.
Okay. Well, are
I
we
apologize if
interested?
I did not get that clearly.
No, it's okay. I appreciate the clarification. Are we interested in speaking at all with Envy to ensure that we've got this right? I mean, like we got this puzzle. There's not a way to interpret Envy out of this puzzle, right?
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'm confident that Wrath is the right answer. I feel like maybe Envy would like try to convince us that it's supposed to be theirs because they envy it, maybe. But
Possibly.
but yeah, I think like it's pretty. The crown is telling us the answer.
Uh huh. In that, if everyone's cool, we crown this stag.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll produce the crown of needles and uh rest it on the head of this heart.
It lowers its head, which still puts it a good 5 feet up because of the plinth, but you settle the crown of silver needles. You experience the same that Banner and Arlen have experienced, with the sound of the riddle in your mind like a flowing stream, and the unavoidable agony of the needles burrowing into your hand. As it comes to rest upon the area between this iron stag's enormous antlers, you watch as the silver tarnishes, uh, turns to the turns to the black of oxidized silver, and darkens, and then the tarnish begins to fall away. The needles which made up so much of the crown bloom, golden roses beginning to sprout from the ends of each of the needles, where little dabs of blood from you and Arlen having handled the crown uh, bloom into flowers. The tarnished silver fades away until a resplendent crown of golden roses rests on Wrath's head. It it pulls its head up to its full height, stares down its iron snout at all of you. While I wear this crown, the heart doors within the palace will be open. But the lion gates will be sealed to you. To do so, you must take the crown from me, take it to Envy, and put it on his head. Put it on their head.
Thank you. And I'll bow.
However, to take the crown from me is not free. You must bring me an offering in accordance with the rules of reciprocity. I do not ask much. Take from here one of these baskets. Fill them with the fruit of this garden and bring that to me.
I'll pick up a basket and add to the other stuff that we've got that we're carrying.
Simply looks at you all and nods a dismissal. Good
Yep.
luck. I hope you find my mistress soon.
Thank you. Float on over to the stag doors.
Hell yeah.
All right.
What you see as you make your way to the large balcony parapet, I guess, um, above some doors, and you have seen this. You see this similarly above the main doors to the palace. Uh, the doors themselves are solid wood, banded in silvery filigree uh, 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 of of scenes of nature, and above some of the doors, in a cameo of stone and silver, above the main doors that you see in front of you, the heart, the stag head of Wrath the Heart, awaits you above the main doors. Just to be clear, not all of the doors have these cameos. The double doors that you saw at the top of the like obviously the doors to the tower that you went through didn't have them, and then the other doors that were leading into the palace did not either. Um, but with the crown of golden roses resting atop the head of the Iron Heart Wrath, the front doors of the palace are open to you. And I think we will get there next week. We'll start there next week.
Yahoo!
Look at us puzzle solving.
Yahoo!
Puzzle solving, exploring the gardens. Very